Bravo. Brav fucking oh. They finally did it. They finally did it. Women's sports, women's basketball finally had their moment. They finally had their Larry Bird, Magic Johnson moment. They finally had their Apollo Creed, Rocky Balboa moment. This tournament, Iowa against LSU, Iowa against Connecticut, Iowa against the champion South Carolina. Women's basketball, women's sports finally did it. Congratulations. You finally fucking brought me to tears. You finally made me give a fuck. Now, let me explain this. What I mean is, before, I used to see women play basketball, and I would respect the fact that they were playing basketball. Respect the fact that they're not going to let societal gender bullshit tell them that they can't compete, that they need to be somewhere doing something that women should be doing. So I used to see girls play basketball. I used to see women play basketball. And I would respect the fact and like that they're playing. But it never touched me. It never really reached me. Even when I would see, like I said, young girls coming up and learning how to play, it was like, yeah, they should be able to play. They should learn how to play. That's good. I like seeing that. But it didn't touch me. It wasn't until, and I'll tell you the magic moment that finally got me. The moment that finally got me, that really got me, that said, you know what? I'm not watching women play basketball. I'm watching ballers play basketball. I'm watching competitors. It's not about gender anymore. The moment that got me, that really, really got me. So I watched the Iowa LSU game. Caitlin Clark against Angel Reese and the repeat and the bullshit history from the year before about the John Cena you can't see me thing. Whatever. I watched the game. It was a good-ass game. Iowa pulled it out. The next game against Connecticut, when they made the call that probably shouldn't have been called, the offensive foul on the screen, the moment that got me, now I'm a Sigma male. I do a lot of Sigma male type shit. So I don't know if this is a Sigma male thing or if this is just a me thing. The moment that got me, when I knew I was in, was in the Iowa-Connecticut game. At the end, when they made the call that probably shouldn't have been made a call, or at least not at that moment, and the Iowa player is trying to go around the screen, number 24, I think her name is Gabby Marshall. She's trying to run. See, I know a name now. I know a couple of names. I used to never know names before. So she's trying to run around the screen and she gets bumped and the referee calls offensive foul, Iowa basketball. And if you were watching the game like I was, or if you go and look at the video, the moment when she gets bumped and the referee makes the call, she lets out this emotion where on one hand she's trying to stay composed, but she can't quite keep it in. And if you look at the replay, if you look at her reaction to the call, she's talking to the crowd and making this motion. And that's because she was so fucking excited to make a good play. But she also wanted to try to keep some composure and keep it in. And it got me. Because I was like, that's what I would have done. That's what I would do. You don't want to let out too much emotion and show up the other team or maybe draw a technical on yourself, but I just made a big play. We might have just won off of that play. And I swear, I think Demi Moore from Ghost tear just fell down my cheek. I was like, I'm not watching girls. I'm not watching young ladies. I'm not watching women play right now. I'm watching ballers. I'm watching competitors. It's the same now. And then when Iowa plays South Carolina in the championship, now you got the storyline of Caitlin Clark, her last game, trying to go out as a champion. If she gets this ring, if she wins the championship, and she can officially be called a GOAT, Caitlin Clark is already a fucking GOAT. You don't need a ring to be married to the game. She married to the game like a motherfucker. So, but that was part of the storyline. Okay, you know, Iowa beat South Carolina last year to get to the championship game. And so now they're playing. And so Caitlin Clark, her and her team, can they go out on top? And then South Carolina, you know, the storyline, can they be undefeated? There's only been so many undefeated college basketball teams to win a championship. Can they pull it off? Last year they were on their way, and this Iowa team, Caitlin Clark and crew, bumped them off. So there was a storyline. There was a storyline for the Iowa LSU game. It started from some racial bullshit a year ago that the media mostly wanted to make up and idiots on the internet. Then you get the Iowa Connecticut game, and now you got Caitlin Clark against Paige Beckers, and there's, you know, and Connecticut's history of you know, primacy in women's college basketball, actually in men too. But, and then in the Iowa South Carolina game, you had that storyline, and I watched all three of them. It was must-see TV, and it wasn't because I gotta go watch the girls play because I watched the boys play. It was, hey, I was playing LSU tonight. I want to see that shit. I was playing South Carolina. I want to see that shit. It was about the game. Game recognizes game. And so I was proud of that. And that's why I was in fucking tears for 20 minutes after at the end of the championship game, because to see these women compete, to see them ball out there, to see them go for theirs, just like the boys do, just like men do. Whatever you think about someone else, when you see them go through what you go through, it humanizes things. Like it makes you connect with them a little bit more. So when I saw these women, when I saw these ladies out there competing with their heart and their emotion in it and balling, I couldn't look at them as different. They were the same. And it was good. It was historic. And so to see Gabby Marshall react the way she did in that moment, it was like, oh my God, I've seen that before. And then to see Dawn Staley, you know, when the clock ticks to 0 and South Carolina's won the championship and she's walking on the court and she's kind of doing this mouth thing where she's trying to, and you can see it in her eyes, she wanted to just completely let go. I was like, I've seen that before. I've seen that. I kind of know what that feels like. I'm in now. I'm hooked. You're not different anymore. It's not binary. It's not opposites. It's the same. And it's that moment that women's college basketball, women's sports needs and needed. Because when you stop looking at someone as different than you, and you realize that they go through some of the same shit as you, and how they overcome it or how they deal with it, how they get on top of it, you almost have no choice but to respect that. And so Iowa could have won, South Carolina could have won, Connecticut could have won, LSU could have won. They all fucking won. In my opinion, they all fucking won. I will never probably look at women's sports the same. And I know for a lot of people, man, it was just a fucking game. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was game. It wasn't a game. It was game. And they were out there balling. And what's even more beautiful is that they're going to inspire the next generation of boys and girls based upon what they did. Not what the boys did, but what they did. And that's beautiful. Oh, and by the way, Caitlin Clark is a fucking GOAT. You don't need a ring. With the numbers she put up, the way she carried herself, the way she carried the sport, Dawn Staley's also a fucking GOAT. She didn't win a ring as a player, but she's a three-time champion as a coach, an undefeated season, taking these girls, what was a whole new squad. Dawn Staley's a fucking GOAT. She's wanted to go to the game too. So, bravo, ladies. Brav fucking oh. It was beautiful to see the way that they competed, the way they carried themselves, the way they carried the sport. And I will be watching.